I'm glad you all are here. We are going to practice a little Yin Yoga. So, for those of you that don't know me, because I joke that I'm new to the studio, but I'm not. So I said I joke that I'm new to the studio, but I'm not really. I'm new to the Bridgeville people. And so I'm glad you're here. I'm Deanne. We are going to practice Yin Yoga today. And so I have a blanket that I like to sit on the edge of it, and I use it to cushion my knees. So if you want to grab a blanket or a pillow or anything to like sit on the edge of or cushion your knees, there's probably a time we'll want to cushion our knees as well. So and then if you want to grab like bolsters or pillows or extra blankets or just to cushion things and make them super super comfortable, you are welcome to grab any props you want. And then we're going to start our practice in a comfortable seat. So I'm sitting crisscross. You are welcome to sit on your knees or with your legs out in front or whatever you want. Sit up nice and tall. And then you decide, either close your eyes or find a focal point to focus on. And allow yourself to just breathe. Usually the moment we say, close your eyes, usually your breaths get a little deeper anyways, but take a moment and really focus on the breath. In yoga, we love breathing in and out through the nose, but it's allergy season. So if you ever need to open your mouth to breathe, we definitely value breathing over not breathing. So taking a moment, reminding yourself that these next 45 minutes, they're just about you and your mat and nothing else going on around you. There is a Chinese philosopher, Lao Tzu, who says that nature is never in a hurry, yet is always accomplished. And that's our goal of Yin Yoga today, is we're not going to be in a hurry. We're going to stay in poses for a period of time, usually 3 minutes. We're going to stay in them because we're not in a hurry to get out of them. We're not in a hurry to go deep. We're just resting in these poses. And yet at the end of 45 minutes, we're going to be accomplished. Taking a few moments, scan your body. Notice within your body what areas of tightness or tension you have without trying to name a source. Just acknowledge that there is sensation. And as we go through the practice today, we're going to give those areas a little bit more breath, a little bit more energy, and a whole lot of grace. Starting our first pose in the butterfly. So bring the soles of the feet together, knees out wide. Now you get to play around with how close you have your feet in towards you or away from you. You kind of get to decide what happens there. Taking in a breath. And as you exhale, I want you to hinge forward just to the moment where you first feel sensation. We're not striving to go to our deepest or fullest pose here. We're just going to that moment of sensation. And then we stay here in this pose. And you can choose to close your eyes or find a focal point. And stay with your breath. Strive to stay with lengthened and deepened breath. Always with the option that you can prop yourself up here. You could place blocks or pillows underneath your thighs to help hold them up and support them. You could place pillows and blankets between your chest and feet. As we stay in the pose, make sure you've not gone too deep, but you're always welcome to go a little bit deeper as long as you take that pose into consideration. If you take it deeper, if you can stay for a few more moments. Checking in with your body every so often to make sure you're not holding unnecessary tension anywhere in the body. So if you scan your body and notice you're squeezing the thighs, then relax your thighs. Just a few more breaths in this pose here. On your next inhale, walk yourself back upright. Remember, nature goes slow. We're allowed to go slow as well. Keeping the right leg bent. Take the left leg, extend it long and wide to the side. And you can even pull that right leg in a little bit closer. So generalized shape here of knee and toes towards the ceiling. We just don't want the leg to fall open or fall in. Generalized shape of knee and toes towards the ceiling. And then we're going to take this left hand to the floor right there by the left leg. Right arm is going to reach up and over. So we're going for a side body stretch. Now I'm going to tell you, staying here for 3 minutes can get a little hard on the arm. So you have a couple options. You can keep the arm reaching, or you can take this right hand and support your head, which one makes your head feel 1,000 times lighter, but it also gives your arm something to do. Or you have the option, right arm behind the low back. Just make sure you keep your right shoulder open up a little bit, not allowing it to roll forward. And again, find a focal point or close your eyes and just breathe. Just a few more breaths in this pose here. You can always change your arm variation. On your next inhale, come all the way back up, right. So we're going to take this left leg forward. We're going to combine two poses here. Take this left leg, which is long, out in front, and cross the right knee on top. So you're stacked knee on knee. So we're going into shoelace pose, which is what we call it in Yin. In regular yoga, we call it cow face. I had to take a minute. So left leg is long, right knee is on top. And then you have the choice. You can keep this left leg long, or you can bend it, just making sure you're not sitting on the left heel. Your choice what you do. Then we're going to add in a neck stretch. So I'm going to turn my back so you can see what we're going to do. We're going to stay with those legs, and we're going to bring our hands behind our back. We're going to clasp hands, but not everyone can clasp hands behind the back, and that's okay. You're welcome to reach back and just grab forearms. But if you clasp hands, take them over to the left side. So they go to the left side, and then we take left ear to the left shoulder. So that's a lot of right and left and left and right and right and left and left and right. The big thing you need to focus on is that you are getting a little stretch in the right side of your neck. There are times I would tell you that this left elbow needs to be pulling back, but I'm not going to tell you that today. You kind of let it flap wherever it goes. Take a moment, just enjoy the side stretch through the neck. I have this one gentleman that regularly takes my practices. He calls this one the twisted pretzel pose, because we've got arms and legs kind of going here, there, and everywhere. Just a few more breaths. On your next inhale, lift the head up, release the hands forward, untangle the legs, and then bring your legs out in front. Feet are down, knees bent. Just rest your hands behind you and windshield wiper the legs side to side. Little counter pose to the shoelace pose there. And then bring it back upright. Left leg bends and pulls in. Right leg goes long and wide. So we're going back into that side body stretch. So generalized shape of right knee and toes towards the ceiling. Right hand goes to the floor. Left arm reaches up and over. So a couple choices here. Left arm can continue to reach up and over. Left hand can hold up the head, which, our heads are pretty heavy. Or your left arm can go behind your low back, just keeping the left shoulder open, not rounding it forward. Not that it's going to be wrong to round it forward. It's okay if you do. The beauty of our practice is you find the variation that works for your body. And the variation that works today might not have worked yesterday and might not work tomorrow, and that's okay. Stay with your breath. Every so often, check in and make sure you're not holding unnecessary tension. Guaranteed, if I'm telling you that, I probably am doing it. So it's normal for it to creep in. Just a few more breaths. Next, inhale, bring it all the way back up. And we'll take it into our twisted pretzel. So take this right leg out in front. Left knee crosses on top. So you're striving for knee on knee. Not everyone gets knee on knee. And then you can keep that right leg long, or you can bend the knee. And it's okay to take a different variation on each side of the body. And then we're going to bring hands behind the back, either clasp them or grab forearms. Hands go over to the right side, and then right ear towards your right shoulder. So we're striving to find length to the left side of the neck. And again, just breathe. Just a few more breaths, and this says here. On your next inhale, lift up the head, release the hands, untangle the legs. Let's go back to windshield wipers with them, knees side to side, just to prevent any tension from creeping up into them. It's a nice little counter pose. It's gonna be really nice when we go into our next pose. Our next pose in Yin, it's known as dragon. In traditional yoga, it's known as lizard. It's probably up there with my favorite Yin poses. So we are going to make our way over. Your choice, tabletop or down dog. I like to give everyone an option how you want to flow into this lunge. And then this is where I like to cushion my knees. I like to have a cushion under my back knee. So we're going to start. You can either start from tabletop or down dog, but take your right leg, step it forward into a lunge. So your right knee is stacked over the right knee over the right ankle. The left knee is what's cushioned. I've cushioned that on the blanket. And then I'm going to bring hands down on the inside portion of my leg. And so this can be pretty intense. You can choose to pull some of that intensity out and pull the hips back, because again, we're only going to go into that moment where there's sensation starting. We're not striving to go as deep as we can in this pose. We're just trying to go to the point where, okay, there's something happening here. And that's where we're going to stay until we can then possibly go deeper or stay right where you're at. You always have the option to find variations here. So you could place blocks or pillows or bolsters underneath you and lift you up higher. You can bring it down to forearms, and you can even bring it down to forearms on pillows and blankets or blocks, whatever works for you. This is one though where tension will creep up pretty quickly. So make sure you're only in an intensity where you can stay without holding tension in the body. This is one of those poses that really defines the difference between Yin Yoga and restorative yoga, because this is a level of intensity you would not find in restorative yoga. Just a few more breaths here. On your next inhale, come back to your palms if you're not already. Pull back through the hips, and then take the leg back. So you're either back into your tabletop or back into down dog. There's no right or wrong answer here. Everyone likes a little something different. And then we're immediately going to go into the other side. So take the left foot, step it forward, and it might take you 10 steps to get it forward, and that's okay. Again, left knees into the lunge, arms are on the inside portion of the leg. Now you can pull your hips back to decrease the intensity, or you can let them go forward. That's really your choice here. And then find a variation that's really going to work for you. You can be on palms or forearms, and you can have, palms or forearms on blocks or pillows or bolsters or blankets. And then keep the focus on your breath. Every so often, check to make sure tension didn't creep in somehow. Just a few more breaths. On your next inhale, come back to palms if you're not already. Pull the hips back. Take that left leg, bring it behind you, and find your way into a child's pose. Knees wide, big toes touch, and then walk it forward. You might bring it all the way down with forehead to the mat. You might just come down the forearms. Really just find what works for you here. Child's pose is used as a counter pose in Yin Yoga. So take a moment to just breathe and notice what sensations you're feeling within your body. Within your body, but then also within your thoughts and emotions. Again, don't name sources, just acknowledge the sensations that are there. On your next inhale, walk it back up just long enough to then work your way down onto your back, lying down on your back. Again, take your time getting there. Remember, our Chinese philosopher says, nature never hurries, yet is always accomplished. So there's no rush. When you do get there, legs go long, arms go long overhead. We're preparing for our banana pose. Bananasana is what we call it. And we find a length through the side body here. So we're going to take both our feet over to the right corner of the mat, the lower right corner of the mat, with the option of crossing left ankle on top of the right. And then we're going to take both our arms, our shoulders, and our head to the upper right corner of the mat. So our hips pretty much stayed in place. So if we were to come stand over you, you would look like a little C shape. Both arms and legs are pointing in the same direction. You could look like a little C shape, like a letter C, or you look a little bit like a banana, which is why we call it bananasana, banana pose. So this is one where we're just finding a little length through the side body. Take some time and just breathe. A few more breaths in the pose here. And on your next inhale, bring the arms back center, followed by the legs back center. And with the arms and legs, you don't even have to stretch them. They can just be hanging out in the middle. Just take a moment. Notice the left side of your body compared to the right side. Maybe they feel exactly the same, or perhaps one side feels a little longer. And we'll take it to the other side. So both your feet go over to the lower left corner with the option of right ankle crossing on top of the left. And then your arms, shoulder, and head come to the upper left corner. But your hips pretty much stayed in place. Sometimes they move just a hair. Just a few more breaths in this pose. Taking in a breath, bringing the arms back center, legs come back center. And again, just taking a moment to notice what's going on within the body, sensations. Next exhale, hug your knees into your chest. Squeeze them there. And when you exhale again, take both your knees to the right side of your body, arms out in a T shape. So this is a good pose that if you wanted to place pillows or blankets under the knees, or between the knees, you could. I like to think of this pose as the final ring out, the final release before we go into our beautiful Shavasana. Just a few more breaths here. Next, inhale, pull the knees back into the chest. Hug them there for just a moment. Next, exhale. Take both your knees to the left side of your body. Arms in the T shape. Taking this moment just to breathe. Just a few more breaths on this side. On your next inhale, pull the knees back into the chest. Hug them there and really squeeze them in tight. This is where you get to thank yourself for coming into the practice today, giving yourself this gift that is yoga. And on an exhale, extend yourself out into your Shavasana, whatever your Shavasana looks like. So you could have legs long or knees bent. Perhaps you have arms out wide or have them hugged in close. Perhaps you're resting on a pillow or under a blanket. Find what is most comfortable for you. And when you get into that sweet, comfortable spot, either close your eyes or find a focal point to focus on. Lengthen and deepen your breath. Allow yourself to relax and really give yourself the rest that you deserve. Bringing the awareness back into your breath, back into your body. So you start to bring in those little movements into the fingers and toes. And those little movements work their way to ankles and wrists. Rocking the head side to side. And as though you were trudging through mud, so I want you to go really slow. Work your way over into a fetal position. So trudge through mud with it. Really go slow. Like the good mud, like you're at a mud bath and spa. This fetal position is very important. Probably one of the most important poses in my opinion. It's where we can harness the energy we created and moved during the practice. It's where we retain the deep breath. It's where we feel in that knowledge that we created during the entire practice. And again, trudging like mud, push yourself up into a comfortable seat. Again, going slow, we're not rushing out. Nature is never in a hurry, yet is always accomplished. And once you get up into your comfortable seat, either close your eyes or find a focal point. Bringing your palms together at heart center. With all of the gratitude for joining me in practice today. With everything in me, thanking and honoring everything in you. Namaste. Awesome. I'm glad y'all joined us today, celebrating our 4th anniversary. So we hope to see y'all again soon, whether it's virtually or in person. So awesome.
Thank you. I loved your class.
Thank you
Awesome.
very
Thank you.
much.